I came in one day and my mother was a very good walker. She walked everywhere, and I found that she was in a wheelchair. I said to the staff, what's going on here? And she said, oh, well, we're taking her to the dining room. I said, well, she can walk. Oh, well, it's just a little bit quicker if we put her in a chair. And of course they didn't realise, or they may have realised, that if you don't walk, you lose the power of your legs. But also my mother enjoyed walking. That was restraint because it took away her independence and something that she liked doing.
Rosemary Hurtley's mother spent the last years of her life in a care home. Rosemary believed that in treating her mother in this way, some staff in the care home were preventing her mother from living the life she would choose to live. They were restraining her. Tom Owen, joint author of the recently commissioned Sky report, Minimising the Use of Restraint in Care Homes, would agree.
Restraint is one of those terms that is sort of bandied around the press and often sort of symbolises sort of something the negative, the very, very sort of negative practices that we maybe saw a few years ago, 10, 20 years ago. It brings up images of residents being sort of strapped down, or tables being pushed into the chairs so that people can't move, or something that we heard in the study of door handles being actually placed out of reach of the residents so they couldn't actually get into certain areas of the home. But actually I see restraint as being much wider than that, and really it's very much about just stopping people from doing things that they want to do. If you're restraining people from actually being able to develop their own interests, from getting assistance, from from going out, then that's a form of restraint in itself. Restraint has to be seen as the absolute last resort. If there are residents that are violent, attacking others, then of course you need to do something in the very short term to stop that happening, and that might be a sort of physical restraint, taking someone away. We heard of a resident that was screaming day in and day out, and it was upsetting other residents with dementia, so they had to be sort of physically encouraged to go and stay in another bit of the care home for a short period, but only for a short period while they actually did the proper risk assessment, proper discussion, and most importantly, getting in external advice.
The behaviour of the staff in Rosemary's mother's care home reflects perfectly the dilemmas faced by care staff when making decisions about minimising the use of restraint, dilemmas highlighted in the Sky report.
You've got residents who might not be able to make decisions, who are adamant they want to walk around the home, and they might be of course at risk of falling, or they're adamant that they might want to go out. Relatives who can be very frightened of seeing their resident taking risks that they feel are unnecessary. And then staff are in the middle quite often. In a sense, many of them come from a nursing background and they feel a sense of duty to care, a real sense of needing to protect these vulnerable people. And on the other side, they have to honour the choice of the residents. It's a real difficult one, and there's no straightforward answers to this. And ultimately, it's about a dialogue, it's about negotiation, and it's about working very individually with each resident and trying to develop creative strategies for helping them to be as free to make choices as they wish and to reduce the need for restraint.
So how could the choices staff made at Rosemary's mother's care home have minimised the use of restraint?
Care homes need to start with the assumption that their residents should be able to exercise choice, should be able to do whatever they like, should not need to be restrained in any way. The next step really is to go and assess to make sure that they are capable of making those decisions. And if not, to learn more about that person, to talk with residents, to talk to an advocate, to actually and with relatives, to understand that person, to understand the kind of risks that they might normally take. So actually we're constantly looking at ways in which we're not restraining, we're looking at the positive side and saying, right, what does this person want to achieve? How can we help him to achieve that?
The framework for assessing a person's mental capacity is laid out in the Mental Capacity Act, and Sky has produced a range of publications to help people understand the Act.
The Mental Capacity Act is a useful piece of legislation, firstly because for the first time it sets out very clearly how you assess somebody's mental capacity, just about whether they've got sufficient ability to understand information and to weigh it and to express a decision, to appreciate risks. But the thing is, even if someone doesn't have mental capacity because of severe dementia, you should still respect their human dignity and their own personal life story. And when it comes to restraints, what the Mental Capacity Act says is that in certain limited circumstances, restraints are acceptable if they're the only way that you can protect someone from harm, if you've explored all the other ways of protecting them from harm, and if you review it regularly and you do it to the least possible degree. So in a way, that not only protects the residents, but I think it also protects the staff in the care homes and gives them a framework for practice.
That framework suggests that an approach to care which puts the needs and interests of the individual person at the centre is one which is likely to lead to a minimising of restraint.
It's quite often those very informal conversations that help them to develop relationships, help them understand who is behind dementia, who is behind the frailty, and get a sense of what's important to that person. And then, because of that, you then get more of a personal relationship, which means it's very hard to restrain that person, first and foremost, because you're seeing them much more of a human being rather than someone that you're doing things to. But secondly, you're also understanding what's sort of why that person might want to get up, why that person might be getting tearful, distressed, irritated, and might want to go and, let's say, wander off, etc. And these are crucial to a good culture of a care home.
Rosemary Hurtley believes it was this person-centred approach that did so much to help her mother through the last years of her life in her care home. In her mother's case, even something as simple as a teacup gave her life meaning.
Every time, because of her dementia, she saw this beautiful pink rose cup with a little gold rim round it and very fine china given to her, she just lit up, said, "Oh, that is fantastic. What a lovely cup of tea. That is wonderful. Thank you so much." And she beamed. And the staff thought, wow, we've done something so little, but with an imagination, and they saw that those little things made such a difference to her. It made them think perhaps more broadly. If we listen to everybody, those little things, the way the clothes are laid out, the way the meal is presented, they make people's hearts sing. But they're often overlooked with the sort of routinisation and the task orientation of practice.
Some care homes say, we can't do all these things because there are too many tasks to do in the day. We can't spend time with residents because there's too many tasks. And when we talk, I quite often say to them, well, think about you at home with your family. You've got kids and a husband or a wife or whatever, and probably 1,000 tasks to do. But somehow you manage to bring the two together. You could have relationships and develop relationships, which is crucial to improving quality of life and minimising the use of restraint. But you can also get on with your tasks. So it's about helping staff think through how they can make sure they do the beds, but also keep that repertoire going, keep connection with residents, keep them feel reassured.
What you don't do, if somebody's completely confused and, as I say, they're at risk of wandering out of the care home, wandering in front of the traffic and getting run over, and they don't know where they are, and they think they're on the way to work, you don't say, OK, then off you go, because you do have a duty of care to protect people from themselves. But on the other hand, you don't just casually and routinely restrict people's liberty without thinking the decision through very carefully.
Those care homes that are really, on top of their game have managers that really allow their staff to develop ideas, to work up strategies, to think creatively about how they're providing care. So if a staff member comes up and says, I've got an idea for X, Y, and Z, then the manager should be there saying, go for it. Even if it perhaps isn't necessarily the best idea, it's about empowering the staff. And if managers empower the staff, then staff might actually feel a bit more relaxed about empowering the residents and give them more control. If you're giving residents control, helping them to understand the risks they're taking, but also understanding and acknowledging that they want to make these choices they can, then that is about minimising restraint and allowing people to develop themselves.